Today we're going to be discussing about how to get more bang for less buck when working out with weights at the gym. Now, the gym is for one thing, to build. Whether that's muscle or performance is up to you. However, the more muscle you have, the more potential for strength, speed, power, and athleticism you have for your body weight. This is because muscle fibers are made up of protein that can contract at will to produce force, power, speed, and strength. Ergo, the more muscle fibers you have, the more force you can potentially produce. Now, I don't want you to come at me with, but it will slow you down or make you more stiff. If 200 pounds of fat went up against 200 pounds of muscle at any sport and the skill and experience were equal, the 200 pounds of muscle will overtake the 200 pounds of fat every single time. So let's break down what a bang is and what a buck is. A bang is what you desire, your fitness related goals, such as bigger arms or a bigger butt. Your buck is what you trade for, time, energy, and effort. Now let's jump right into a few common questions that I get asked that tend to be misguided questions. But they are going to be in descending order as most popular voted by you. Number 1, I want to get more toned. What do I do? Number 2, how do I maintain or build muscle while losing fat? Number 3, I want a bigger whatever. What do I do? What's more important, high reps or low reps? And number 5, I want to get a stronger back. What do I do? I want to get more toned. What do I do? Now, tone is used often to describe a muscle that's visible. Toned arms, toned legs, toned back. However, it can be swapped with the word lean. And when we make that swap, we have more clarity on what we need to do. Lose body fat. And if we want to lose body fat, we need to be in a caloric deficit no matter which way you slice it. Whether that's through tracking your macros and your calories, or eliminating a meal in your diet through time-restricting eating, like intermittent fasting, or simply reducing the amount of food you're eating intuitively. So instead of eating 2 slices of toast, you're eating 1. So far, I've only discussed about the losing fat portion of the question. Next is about maintaining your muscle. So when you do lose the fat, your muscle actually appears lean and toned. This is done by maintaining a high amount of protein in your diet. A good number to work around is about 0.8 grams per pound per body weight. Although this is dependent on where you are currently sitting at in terms of body fat percentage, your experience in the gym, and even how much protein you currently consume. If you're only eating about 100 grams of protein and you weigh 200 pounds, it's not realistic for you to just start eating 180 grams of protein. It's kind of ridiculous. Now, with regards to exercise, to keep it simple for this video, you want to do at least 2 exercises per week per muscle group and at least 1 set per exercise where you're going close to failure, not including warm-up sets. More on this shortly. Now, in short, if you want to become more toned, increase your workout and intensity and protein while decreasing the amount of carbs and fats you eat. How to maintain or build muscle while losing fat. Now, this is where we're going to start seeing some overlap from the previous answer. As mentioned, losing fat only happens in one way, which is from being in a caloric deficit. You need to eat less than you normally eat on a day-to-day basis. Or you can try the hardest way to lose fat in terms of effort, which would be to burn more calories than you consume by means of activity or exercise, like this gentleman doing some jumping jacks. To give you some insight, here are some examples of activities you would need to do for 30 minutes just to burn 300 calories. 1. Vigorously riding a bike at 12 to 14 miles per hour, doing an hour kickboxing or taekwondo class, and doing an hour and a half of weightlifting. All that just to burn a slice of pizza, some Coke cans, or a burger, and a few cookies. These are all much harder than just saying no to those treats. However, doing a combination of both means that you're adding a little bit less stress and is what my clients have found the most success in. Instead of doing one or the other, do a combination of both. Now, similarly to the last question, to build muscle, you need to train close to failure. This means that after you're warming up for an exercise, your working set, or the set that actually counts, should end while the reps are slowing down. That means you are pushing or pulling with all your might to complete that rep. And every week you should be aiming to add more weight to the exercise or more reps, so long as you don't change how you're doing the exercise. More on this to come. In short, increase the intensity of the exercise for the targeted muscle on a weekly basis and eat less carbs or fat. Number 3, I want a bigger insert muscle. What do? You're going to pick 2 exercises that you feel the targeted muscle the most. You're going to do them twice per week, both on a Monday and on a Wednesday or Thursday. This will be based on how quickly or how slowly you recover. You're going to do 2 sets per exercise where you are going to failure. Now, look at this example of me doing push-ups. The first 30 reps don't matter because there is no stimulus for growth. Growth happens when your brain is utilizing every single muscle fiber to perform the task at full effort. In a set of an exercise or any movement, as a matter of fact, your brain decides whether to use type 1 or type 2 muscle fibers. The easier the exercise feels, the brain is going to use a smaller muscle fiber type, which is type 1, because it requires less energy to use. As the exercise becomes harder, it uses type 2 muscle fibers. These are bigger, stronger, faster muscle fibers. Ergo, if you want the bigger muscle fibers, you have to do the exercises that targets those muscle fibers the most, which only happens when your effort is maximum. You see the last 8 reps here of my push-ups. These are the reps that stimulate muscle growth. When was the last time you grew in any aspect of your life when shit was easy? Never. If you want to grow, you got to put yourself through hardships. If you want your biceps to grow, you got to put it through hardships. You could do a dumbbell bicep curl and an alternating curl on 2 days of the week to failure. Or if you want bigger glutes, you do hip thrust or a split squat or a lunge variation twice a week, 2 sets, close to failure. And most importantly, increase the weight every week while maintaining the same form. Don't start with curls in a full rep range of motion like this on week 1, and then as you're adding the weight, your form turns to something smaller, and then tell me that, oh coach, I have been increasing the weight every week. No, you just made it easier by increasing the weight and maintaining the intensity. In short, lift heavier and lift more frequently while still allow for proper recovery. Number 4, what's better, high reps or low reps? The question as old as time itself. The question that's baffled philosophers for eons. The question that has started wars and child hunger. Do I lift heavy with low reps or light with high reps? But first, understand that in studies, high reps are usually regarded to be 15 to 30 reps, and low reps is a range between 5 and 15 reps. Now, as biased as I am towards heavy weights and low reps, the answer is, it depends. When focusing on anything muscle related, so long as your workouts are trained close to failure, you will benefit from muscle growth in either rep ranges, so long as you are consistent with training close to failure. I gotta say that multiple times. Heck, 1 week you could do high reps and the following week you could do low reps. However, there are a few things to consider. Time and recovery to sensory. Everyone that I've trained and almost everyone that I know do not want to be at the gym training for hours on end. Most people want to just get in and out in the least amount of time as possible. Therefore, a set to 5 reps will be more suitable than a set of 30 reps. This potentially cuts your time 1/6 for that set. Now, what about the time between that set? When training to failure, you get the best results when you are adequately rested for the next set. Anywhere between 90 to 120 seconds is adequate, but the more reps you do in a set to failure, the more time is needed to be adequately rested, which means that a set to failure with 30 reps needs more resting time than a set to failure with 5 reps. More time is saved as well when you're doing less reps. As for recovery, The same thing applies. The more reps you do, the more recovery is needed. So, if your workout consists of 4 to 6 exercises at 30 reps, depending on your genetics, it will take you more days to recover from that workout than one that only uses 6 reps. So, based on that fact that lower reps will save time and allow for quicker recovery, I believe that low reps are superior. And it also just looks cool to pick up more weights off the floor. So is there a point in time when light weights are better? Well, yes, when you're traveling and are focused, or you're forced to work out at a gym, condo gym, and you don't have access to a lot of weight, then yeah. Otherwise, moving on. How do I get a stronger lower back? Now, this is one of those misguided questions. First, you must determine what it means to have a weak back. Chances are your back isn't weak, but rather overworked due to the weakness of other muscles. If your legs and your glutes are not strong, your lower back will continue to lift you as it has its entire existence. But you can take the load and stress off your lower back by strengthening your quads and your glutes. This is more of an understanding the body question, more so than a how-to question. Your body works as a whole unit, and if you approach it training it as a bunch of singular systems, you will quickly feel overwhelmed with all the different things you need to do. You'll think it's about doing high reps, low reps, heavy weight, slow, controlled, explosive jump, plyometrics, and yoga, and stretching and breathing, and wanting to feel the pump and getting fasted state cardio and all that. It can be very overwhelming and misdirected. But if you understand the concepts of training close to failure and allowing for adequate recovery, you will always build muscle and get stronger. If you take the time to create a diet that makes sense for your lifestyle and doesn't allow for unnecessary gluttony or snacking, you will lose weight and fat in conjunction to your training. And if your workout program targets every muscle group, not singular strands of muscle, and you train with full range of motion and evenly, you will slowly become more and more pain-free. It doesn't need to be complicated, it just needs to be thought out and consistent. So on that note, to strengthen your glutes, or rather your lower back, start with putting emphasis on training your glutes. More specifically, how to hip hinge properly. This can be done with a 45-degree back extension or a Romanian deadlift. And work on some mobility drills where you practice opening up your hips and dynamically moving your glutes. And there you have it, how to get the most bang for your buck in the gym. If you want me to elaborate on anything that was covered here or something I didn't mention, comment below. If you want to learn more about how you can optimize your time in the gym to go from a lazy and weak body to a stronger, fit, and pain-free avatar, follow me on Instagram at EverDay without the first Y. Lastly, if you want a more personalized approach to your organizing your efforts at recreating your avatar, DM me and I'll help you out. Until next time, stay resilient.